Hi, I'm Julie Cohen for Pop-Topia, and this is Mark Barlet.
It's true.
It's very true. And Mark, you are the founder of AbleGamers, aren't you?
That's true too.
That's fantastic.
Wow, we're onto something here.
I'm psychic. So, since some of our viewers are not yet, because we haven't given them the right drugs, could you tell us a little bit about what you do?
Well, the AbleGamers Foundation is a non-profit charity that helps people with disabilities use video games to increase their quality of life. So we work with game developers to make their games more accessible, and we work with hardware developers to come up with new and ingenious hardware that will help people with disabilities interact with the most popular gaming systems that are out there.
What hardware and software developers have you interacted with?
Well, we've interacted with all the big boys. I mean, we have contacts with all of them. We've had, some different levels of success with changing features within games. Colorblind modes in World of Warcraft, assist modes in Forza 3 and 4. These were all things that our work helped get started. We've worked with hardware manufacturers to make the Adroit Switchblade and different controllers that helps people with disabilities interface with the consoles as well.
And how did you get into this?
Well, it's a personal story. I'm actually a veteran who's disabled, but my disability doesn't affect my video game play, but my sister has multiple sclerosis, and we used video games to stay connected because she had married a serviceman and was stationed halfway across the country, so we used EverQuest to stay connected. And one Friday when we were going to do one of our marathon gaming sessions / Ventrilo, gripe fests, she didn't log on, and I kind of got worried, and I called over and figured out what was going on. And that day, multiple sclerosis had decided that she was not going to be able to use her hand. So we were looking for some resources to help her out. We weren't really successful at finding anything, and given that I have a technology background, I just went ahead and created it. So now, 9 years later, we're chugging right along.
Created the foundation?
Created the foundation and created a place for people with disabilities, ablegamers.com, to kind of go and try to find help and resources so that if they have their own issues with their gaming, there's at least now a safe place that they can go to and kind of say, these are the issues that I have, this is what I need, what do you guys think? And there's another community of gamers with disabilities that can help them get into gaming.
And since you started the foundation, how has it grown? What have you seen?
Well, when we first started, and we would approach companies and ask about game accessibility, they would run.
They would run?
They would run because it sounded hard, and they didn't understand why we would even ask such a question. I mean, we actually had one company thought they were being punked. They really thought they were being punked.
They thought that an overture from a disability foundation was being punked.
They thought that the thought of an organization that was advocating on behalf of people with disabilities, they thought they were being punked, or they thought they were going to be sued. Which would be, oh, the Americans with Disabilities Act, you're going to sue us, we're running.
Yeah, I don't think the ADA actually covers it.
It doesn't.
But given the fact that you seem cheerful and not completely embittered, I assume the climate has changed for the better?
The climate has changed significantly for the better. I actually think the economic downturn helped with that.
How?
Well, one of the things we really advocate for is there are 53 million people in the United States alone with disabilities. And if you think about it, who wouldn't want to sell 53 million more copies of their game? Or the potential of 53 million more copies of the game.
That many?
Yes.
That's like a 1/6 to 1/7 of the United States population.
20% of the population has some sort of disability. 20%.
That's astonishing.
Yep.
And I'm not just saying that because it makes for good footage, because it really doesn't. That really is.
It is astonishing.
And that's an incredibly underserved market.
It is an underserved market, and what I really like about what we're doing is, in the 9 years we've been around, we're seeing more and more game companies who, when we reach out to them for the first time, have either said, oh, we've been waiting for your call, or they're reaching out to us, which is even better. When a game company comes to us and says, hey, we've got this really great title, we think it's going to be good for people with disabilities as well, do you mind giving it a run through before we go live?
Can you tell us about any specific games that are coming down the pike that you think will be good for that, or
no, I can't. It's super secret.
Makes perfect sense.
We're under NDA with several companies, several of the big companies, where we're very careful about keeping separate our pre-production work and post-production work.
You said you're a veteran, but you've also done some fundraising for veterans, right? Some outreach.
Well, we haven't done fundraising for veterans. We've used our own funds because we are a nonprofit. We are a charity, and we've used our own funds to grant some of the equipment that we talk about. Some of the accessibility equipment is very expensive, and being disabled is kind of expensive.
Yeah.
So we've had this year, 2012, we were really fortunate through some of our funding efforts to be able to turn $5,000 of funds that we had, which is a lot of money for us, into Xboxes and new controllers, where we had veterans who were like, I really want to play with my family. I have a 10-year-old son or something like that, but I came back from Iraq or Afghanistan and I'm missing a limb now, and we've been able to help get the controllers in their hands so that they can now participate with their families and enjoy gaming. And there's nothing better than being able to help anyone get back into gaming that wasn't gaming, or to introduce someone to gaming for the first time.
And I understand you've also done some public presentations on how to get games into the houses of people with disabilities. We
2012 again, we were able to go to the Abilities Expo in Chicago, Illinois.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
The Abilities Expo.
The Abilities Expo.
In Chicago, Illinois, which is kind of like, I best describe it as kind of a shopping mall for handicapped things. And they were really trying to get away from some of that and bring more services in and more fun things. So we set up a booth, our very first booth at one of these types of events, and we had over 400 families come through our booth, and it was just the most humbling thing, because parents were standing behind their kids in tears because they never thought their kids could game, and they never wanted to introduce their kids to gaming because they kind of didn't want to set their kids up for failure. And we have the equipment, we have the knowledge that just about anyone that came in our booth, we could get something to work for them. And so we were really fortunate in being able to, my ears are falling off, I can feel it.
Yeah, if you can't see, his ears have actually been wriggling in a very fetching manner throughout this interview.
We were able to get everyone to play, and when you had parents standing behind you going, what is this? Like, what miracle have you brought? That felt so good, because we know that now that we've done that, the parents have reached out to us after the event and said, how do we bring what we saw at your event into our home? And we're like, great, here's what you do and here's what you get. And now we know that there's a quality of life change with that child with disabilities. When I have a 14-year-old who's playing Forza for the first time, and she's never imagined she could drive a car, and she's like, oh my God, this is so much fun. This is what driving a car is like. And the other real thing that we have to do, one of our big training things, is when you have someone with disabilities in your life, especially someone who's got a severe disability, the caregiver is often the governor of what that person with disabilities can do. So if the caregiver doesn't understand Chinese checkers, the person with disabilities is probably never going to learn Chinese checkers, because it's going to be the caregiver that has to set it up and things. So a lot of caregivers have reached out to us because they don't understand video gaming. So we've really been working hard, and I think 2013, one of the big things we're trying to launch is our Caregivers Portal, where it allows someone who knows nothing about gaming to be able to come and say, this is how you set up an Xbox.
Okay. Somebody come into their home specifically?
No, we want to do a self-help. We really believe in self-help. So, I'll videotape setting up an Xbox once, and they can just watch the video and do it at home, and give them a forum to ask questions. I really feel like the next big evolution for our mission is to give the caregivers that are caring for children with disabilities the knowledge that they can comfortably approach a video game system and go, yeah, we can figure this out.
So It's fantastic. Is there, I mean, obviously there's the portal, there's some more general ideas. What do you have going on in the next, say, 6 months to a year? And what's up for you in 2013?
Well, 2013 is really going to be our make or break year as an organization.
How so?
Well, we've been at this for 10 years, and we're to the point now where the needs have gotten greater than our all volunteer staff. So we're all volunteer. None of us get a paycheck, but something's got to change. So we're really kind of working on 2013 on building the capacity that we need so that in 2014 we can really try to draw our first actual full-time employee who can start really kind of doing this full-time. You know, I've traveled 23,000 miles this year for the foundation. I've been to...
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
23,000. I've been to Kuala Lumpur, I've been to Bilbao, Spain, I've been to Boston twice, I've been to Chicago once, I've been to Pittsburgh 3 times, I've been to LA once, and I hold down a full-time job. So I haven't had a vacation in 12 years.
Or any sleep.
No, well, sleep is for the week. So, you know, but we're still not even able to go to a third of what we're asked to go to.
You've managed to make it to Malaysia. That's pretty...
Well, Microsoft sent me to Malaysia.
Wait, what?
Microsoft sent me to Malaysia.
You've partnered with Microsoft? Or
we haven't partnered with Microsoft, but Microsoft does really like what we do as an organization and had an opportunity. They wanted me to talk about game accessibility in their Pacific Asia conference that they did. So they flew the entire arcade that you see that we are here at Katsucon, they flew it to Malaysia and me, and so I spent 5 amazing days in Kuala Lumpur, which was just an amazing eye-opener, and the food was phenomenal.
Okay, it's day 2 of the convention, and I'm back here with Mark. Say hi.
Hi.
As you can see, he has become tired from all the hard work, so I'm still in his ears. And we have just a few more questions. Mark, can you tell our viewers how to donate?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yes, it is.
Well, the easiest way to donate is to go to our website, which is AbleGamers.com, and there's a giant donate button right on the right-hand side.
How giant is it?
It's oddly proportioned to the rest of the website. We really want you to notice it.
That's what she said. And just, I know we talked about what you're doing in 2013 and how you want to finally, expand it, have a full-time employee. But if we could catch up with you in 4 or 5 years, what's the dream?
Well, it's funny, we have our mission statement actually says we want to go out of business. Because if I think anyone who runs a nonprofit, if they don't have going out of business as part of their mission, then they probably shouldn't be a nonprofit because they're not solving the problem. So we hope that someday, like game accessibility and how people interact with, games and how people with disabilities enjoy games becomes such commonplace that we're not needed anymore. So really, I'm hoping in 5 years that we're just not there.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much. This is Mark Barlet, and
True.
You know who I am. Even if you wish, not you.
Oh.
You guys know who I am, even if you wish you didn't, but we're out.